Hello again, and thank you for staying with us. uX-onga solveki is a theatre production showing at the Market Theatre Laboratory from the 13th to the 16th of February. With kids starting to date from a very young age, the production looks at romance and relationships in high school. It looks at the adventures and misadventures rather of young romance, getting it right and getting it wrong, and ultimately teenage pregnancy. uX-onga solveki promises an emotional roller coaster filled with laughter, heartbreak, and the unforgettable thrill of that first kiss. Writer and director, that's Katleho Jack Moloi, joins me in studio to tell us a bit more about this production. Katleho, a very interesting title, I must say, to the production, uX-onga solveki. Tell us what inspired you to write this production, and why did you choose to focus on teen romance?
I think I draw the story from my own personal, because I think it's hard to tell a story that you've never lived. Yeah. So I think, and you see different type of romance stories, like, or romantic stories, like they focus. I think they sort of have a similar angle. Yeah. You know, a hero comes, she's the bad guy, then we fall in love. But I think my interest was, I think, to tell a story that will sit where the audience will sit back and reflect and say, you know what, hey man, I was once young and I went through that, you know. So then the story, I think, what I did with the story, it's like it's held by miscommunication. So that's where the gems are, you know, because women, they have their own way of communicating stuff, and so it does not land here, and then we guys, we communicate a certain way. Then we think that, oh, that thing, it has landed. For instance, when she says, it's fine. Yeah. You're like,
it's actually not fine.
It's not exactly. So then that's where, like, I think that's what the piece, how do I put it? Like it's held, it's held by that miscommunication, the different perspective, and then with those perspectives, then nothing gets through on both parties, you know. So yeah, that was my inspiration, like the miscommunication. So the play sits in the miscommunication.
So you'll tell us more about some of the characters on this production, but when you look at the production itself, it does explore quite a number of issues. I mean, it speaks about young romance, but also includes issues like betrayal and teen pregnancy, like what we highlighted in my intro. What message do you hope audiences will draw, especially from this production, especially also young people who have to deal with many of the issues that you touch on?
Yeah, so the piece, I think, so from a writing level, like, or maybe from a conception level, like the piece, it was, number one, to entertain people. Right. Yeah, because I think as theatre makers, we are afraid to say my work is to entertain. No, it was to entertain, but also to have an audience where they can sit back and reflect and reflect on your young love. Yeah. How was your first kiss? Like, just to, and also, like, because the stories that we hear, like, are painful stories. So, like, the idea is for the piece to sit, for the audience to sit with it, reflect, and say, you know, oh, that's interesting. You know, so that's why also some of the painful stuff, we diffuse them with comedy. Yeah, because so that things must not be too serious, so that the pregnancy is not too serious, or this thing. So, because it's a journey of, like, we see this story through a journey of Einstein, which is the main character of the story. So, which is, he sees this girl, I'm interested in this girl, and then we take you through this journey of Fushela Cherry. And then some of those things, like, as we follow through the journey of Einstein now, I think in people who have came in and saw the piece, they were like, hey, sad. As umchita, I relate with this thing. I felt you like, I felt pecha. So the miscommunication. So when you say I love you to a girl, does she receive it as, oh, now I love you, or is it I know.
Let's speak about where this production is set, or the area at which you're focusing on. It's called Smangaville.
Yes.
It lies in Inkosiyazi Xolela Secondary School.
Secondary School, So I created those, that, like, the name Smangaville is not if it's existing, I didn't know. But it's a location, Sekasi.
What makes it special, this location that you speak of in this production?
Because it's relatable to me as a writer first. So it's relatable. So it's and these stories like this are stories that we see and because in my inquiry there was a time where I was sitting with guys to say I once chased a girl for 4 years and ngimtholanga. Then it was 7 years. Then what that's a medical degree. So and then because I thought that man this thing like shy one, but when it's actually sitting in that we're like, hey, now we young shy. And like now we are older, now we're speaking about, and then we are laughing each other. That's like, okay, this is a very interesting inquiry, and then it helped me to elevate the story some more. So okay, sharp. And then but also the uncomfortability of speaking about these things. You know, so that's what I think also the play achieves, to say we see this journey, this boy showing us to say I'm gonna do this, and he does it. Then it's like, yeah, okay, we see you, and then he thinks it's being a genius, but without being.
But going back to this idea, you spoke about that the act of the first kiss. You know, for guys, it's it's an act, when you really think about it. But for women, it's an event.
It's an event,
Let's speak to this dynamic. How does the production challenge or even reinforce traditional views, especially on teen love?
So, I think that phrasing, I got it from Utemba Mkoma. Temba Mkoma. And then it was a moment of realization to say, because even Boni Cherry, and then I'm hoping Guti. So so I see you now, and then I want it now. So which is when a woman sees you, it's like it takes time. It's like, okay, I see you, but I want you, but I don't show what I want you. So by the time when she agrees to kiss you, it's like she has already went through the process of, I've been seeing you, I thought about it, let's do it. You know,
it's very interesting because this production also is said to be seen at a time when, during February, you know, the month of love.
The month of love, yes.
Let's try to convince people to come and see this show. What are they going to take from it?
So, reflection, man. Reflection, I think, I would invite parents to come to see it. Yes, young people will see it. They'll be like, okay, I know a guy like Sip. I know a guy like Einstein.
Would it help parents understand their children better? For instance?
Yes. I think most deaf, because also now in Jongomsa you'll sit there and like, you know what? I was once a child and then I went through this. And like, I think even in one of the showings, Ria came and say, yo, man, it has been 2 decades. I'm out of school, but I can relate with this, so I can relate with the story because it covers me from my generation and also this generation of my Gen Z, and also even futuristically when we speak about the subject of dating, the subject of love, and the subject of how does a young person see, then like being naive, you know, and then things, because even in the play, what Ukola says is romantic things, ukuthi ngivanye pass, awushirekasi, yamkhaza ukuthi hey awuthemi ngivanye pass, ushaya ithuba ukuthi hey awuthemi ngibhayile pie, you know, ngithengela ama ice, you know, like like when young girls like they are triggered there, but now these stories until you grow up, you like, you know, it was romantic then, but now there's nothing romantic in Carapace.
But speaking about that, I mean, with young people dating early, which is a subject that you speak of in this production, but they also face very complex relationship challenges, if you will. Do you see theatre especially becoming a tool for social change especially?
Yes, I think I just completed my honours at Wits, so there's a tool that we call applied, or a subject that we call applied drama and theatre. So applied drama and theatre. So applied drama, I build a tension, and then you call non-actors to say, okay, sharp, there's this tension that we must resolve. But this tension is contextual to what they are going through. So, for instance, if we are talking, if maybe, let's say, in this school or maybe in this society, there's an issue of teenage pregnancy, then as an applied drama facilitator, I must create a session plan that will address that thing. But I'm not going there to act, because I'm just creating with the information that I have, so that to create a session that will be relevant to their context, and then they must solve it. So I don't say this is right, this is wrong. So after they solve it, then we reflect back. It could be with us sitting like this and say, okay, sharp, how do you feel? How did that feel? What happened? Like, what did you go through? What made you to solve this issue this way? And then was this, so applied drama does this. And then there's also applied theater. Applied theater, you call professional actors now, they act a scenario, we rehearse it, and then must say it clean, and then we say, okay, shall we put it in that community or in that context? We say, okay, sharp, this is the play, and then the audience, they speak back to what they've seen. Which
brings me to these two phenomenal talents that bring the story to life. Tell us a bit more about them. And how you chose the cast for this production.
The cast. The cast, it was very, the cast, I think that was a God moment. So Ulondega Ndwandwe was the first, she's the first person that I casted. I was in her exam. So the first years they were doing their ensemble work. So I get there and I think I was even bored that day. I thought, okay, let me just watch these children perform. And I get there and I sit there and I'm like, so I think it was after the break. And so I came in, I think after the break of the exam, and then I came and I sit there. And so they come with, so it was an all-female cast. And I sit there and I look. Okay, introduce themselves, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm Londega, and then they come. So her first movement, going into what I think because they were doing a movement piece with singing and, Chief, I was moved. Like performative, like, when you're unexpecting something. When like the first move like that, they went, I was like, who's this girl? And then after I performed, then I go, guys, there's this girl that I saw. And people thought, good, I just like, and then I connected with her through her friend Upopi, who was in the same group. And then that piece was marvelous, beautiful ensemble work. And then we started working before I even, so the first, moving into the male cast, it was, I had Andile Hemenim like in mind, because like stylistically he would fit in with what I had in mind. And then I thought of Alex-onga, because also he was around campus. Okay, maybe if Andile can't make it, he will come and read. By that time, Kolan was playing Einstein, we were friends by then. And then he came through. When he came through, I said, okay, if Andile dropped me due to some school commitments, can you come through, But we had already spoken about the piece in terms of set-wise, how it might look, because I was bouncing back ideas, even the play itself. Does it read? Does it sound? Not, no, Goodman, it sounds. Not okay, sharp. Then Londega came and said, let's test it out, let's read. And then I was like, okay, it's sounding. And then when there was a moment where we just bumped into Kolan. We were like, hey, if it's okay, Sharp, we're just having a young read. Can you just come and read Londega News? And then I said, they read. Like, this is the show, man. This is the show.
That's phenomenal.
And then the rest is history. After Andile could not do it due to school commitments, I was like, Fana, come through. Let's start working on this thing. And then we started working also separately with the actors. And then, the rest is history.
Jack, I could talk to you all day, but we have run out of time, unfortunately.
Thanks.
Perhaps remind us quickly, where can people catch this production, and how much does it cost for a ticket? Where can they get them as well?
So the show is happening at the Market Theatre Laboratory from the 13th to the 16th. So, and then there's a special, say, 180, Mauza no muntu wako.
Oh, lovely. It is the month of love.
The month of love. Mauza no uX-onga solveki is 180, but Mauza, we solo artist, man, it's $100. So it's happening at the Market Theatre, Laboratory, the Ramlao, Market Square. Yes, that's where it's happening.
Thank you so much, Jack. That's Katleho Jack Moloi. He's a writer and director joining us today. Speaking about uX-onga solveki, which takes center stage. It does remind us about the magic of love, but also heartbreak and lessons of young love, as it also tackles very important issues.